Somebody's chatting to me. Hang on. Okay. No worries. Okay, Leona, there's two. Yes, there are two of me here. I'm having to use my phone because my new iMac is not letting me function properly. I have to grant rights and I don't want to reboot and do all this other stuff. So the first thing I do especially when I'm co-writing, as soon as the co-writers and I are reasonably confident we've completed the tune, and I always, personally, I write in, as some of you know, I write in Google Drive, and the reason being is that I have complete tracking of history. Like, so we've got this song and I've got the writers in it, and you can always go back to see when it was created and all that stuff. That's why I use, one of the reasons, and we can all, you can see over here, you've got your history of when we started the thing, December 23rd, and then we got back to it in January for a few minutes, and then we just finished it the other day. So that thing technically became copywritten by virtue of this thread, you know, like that could be used in court, right? So as soon as we've got the song basically completed, I will do a scratch tape or a demo of it. And that will give me an approximate time. And then I come into SOCAN and add it to my catalog. And what you need for the catalog to be able to add another work is you need basically this information: the title, this is automatically assigned, this column, it will automatically say the date. So you need the shareholders, which is, as a songwriter, if I write it by myself, I am 100%. If I write it with two other people, as I did in this case, we have two other songwriters. I don't know how big you can see that, if you can see it. Now, and then generally for me, the performers are Kaylin and I. And then, but what I've done for songs that were unknown or that I haven't recorded, like some of these, like that song's never been recorded. So I just leave my name in there, whatever, right? So the difference, people talk about publishing versus songwriting and stuff. So these two co-writers here have their publishing companies, and they're actually a registered company. It's just like, you know, I had Roca Music, but I didn't ever bother setting it up as running publishing through it, because the only person using my music really effectively is me, or Kaylin and I. But by virtue of me writing the song, I automatically have publishing rights until I assign the rights of publishing to a publishing company. Could be my own company, it could be Fred Smith Publishing, it doesn't matter. So as a songwriter, most of us here, we're releasing our own stuff, and if we're lucky, we'll sell a song. At that point, you may need to come into an agreement for the publishing part of your royalties, and you can negotiate away up to 100% of your publishing rights, but that's only half of your portion of your royalties for that given song. So, for instance, in this case here, if somebody else wanted to record this song, they would have to get publishing rights or rights from the songwriters. If they want to publish something with it, they would or record it and release it as they would need to talk to Doug and Lucy and myself and get publishing rights. So if you sell your song for sync and they want some of the publishing that or whatever, or you get a producer that wants to produce your work and they want some of the publishing rights so that they get money on the back end because they think you're going to make $1 million with it, then what you're negotiating away or getting service for your percentage of publishing for is just that half of your rights on that particular song. So I have, on this first song, I have 33 and 332 or whatever. I have a third of the rights. And if somebody else wants to record that, I would give up to half of that percentage away to somebody who wants to publish it for me or do whatever with it. And the other people would have to do that as well. They would have to approve that and negotiate that out. So the reason that a lot of writers like Doug and Lucy do a lot of writing for other artists and for sync, that's pretty much, Doug does some of his own stuff, but Lucy doesn't sing ever. Like all her work goes out. So when she negotiates, gets sync deals and all that stuff, she deals with the publishing. So it's easier to say Midnight Mama Music takes the publishing and does whatever they want. So that's kind of how that functions a bit. That's a very simplified version of it, I guess.
Robert, do you use CD Baby Pro?
Yeah, I do.
How does that work for you?
Well, it's, as you can see this here, that's a CD Baby Pro song.
And do you find that they are collecting 50% for you and then paying you?
I do get some of that money, but I won't be doing it again, and I may just remove it just because the little bit that I do get, it's not worth my trouble.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm finding too.
Yeah, so I don't really recommend it.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of songs under that, or one album, or I don't know, we've got like 5 or 6 albums, but or something. But
yeah, I signed up my last album, and I was shocked when I seen that they were collecting 50% on my behalf when I'm actually the publisher.
Yeah, so they're taking so if you have complete rights on that song and you've given CD Baby publishing to collect for you, absolutely, I agree. And they're taking 25% of your totals. You have your 50% publishing and your 50% writers. So
right.
So yeah, no, and actually that's, thanks for reminding. I was going to go in and burn fucking CD Baby. It's like, yeah. Anyhow, that's the deal.
Hey Robert, just following what Shirley's saying, I did the same thing. Like I did a standard submission, my first experience with CD Baby, and it was okay, you know, it's same. And then my second record, I did take the pro option, and I feel like, you know, when you're not dealing with publishing generally anyway in the songwriter world, like I don't see the benefit. But the question I had for you is, in your experience, have you been able to remove the CD Pro part? Like, have you tried that?
No, I haven't yet, but I will.
Okay, yeah, I think I might do the same, because I'm just trying to simplify. Like, as things get more and more complicated, I just find it's just easier to keep it simple. Or even with my latest record, you know, everyone's like, try Distrokid, and I absolutely hate them.
Okay, because Doug was just asking about Distrokid, and there's your answer, Doug. I don't know anything about Distrokid, but they could be,
I mean, they do the same thing. They don't have like the pro option, and I'm like, Shirley, I can't really see the benefit. Rather, like, it's not like we have a song of a catalog of 1 million songs, and you can kind of keep track of your life, you know, through SOCAN. And a thing to remember too, guys, is a lot of these distributors are US based, so a lot of the bells and whistles kind of don't really apply in Canada. But what
Yeah.
I found about Distrokid, Robert, this is just like anecdotal, but I was going to go with Distrokid this time because, you know, all the cool kids were recommending that we do so. And I hate how they're always clawing money from you. So at
Mm.
least if you go in with CD Baby, you know exactly what you're getting. So I think I'm
Right.
going to stick with them, actually. I don't know
Right.
if people have any similar experience, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm debating what to do for the next.
Yeah.
We're probably just going to release singles from now on, anyways. But yeah, I don't know. Good
Mhm.
question.
Yes, CD Baby doesn't have their online store anymore, right?
Their physical store? No.
Yeah, their physical store they're doing away with.
Yeah.
But are you guys signed up? Do you let them do your digital distribution?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've
I
been,
have no complaints about the digital side.
yeah,
It's more about whether you want to pay that fee up front and then they just kind of leave you alone.
yeah,
Yeah.
I,
Or
yeah,
like
I think I'm gonna get out of the pro thing too if I can.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same. Just kind of keep it simple. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right.
Moving forward, that's what I'm doing too. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I will go in and remove that function. It would probably take months for it to all trickle down to YouTube and et cetera. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Guys.
I don't know how many has everybody got SOCAN accounts here, or this is yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
That's
so
just-
you guys know.
Can you guys hear me? You couldn't hear me before. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a SOCAN account. Yay, that's as far as I got.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So I mean, it's pretty pretty straight ahead. This function is pretty obvious. You know you have to. You don't have to. When I put in if I happen to have a hard recording of it, I will go back in. But I'll just take my work tape and use that time. And if it's not something that I know that I'm going to do as Campbell and Green or whatever, then I just put in my own name, right? And leave it as popular original work. There's no sampling in any of my stuff. I've never done included any loops or like sampling from other people's previous works, but you have to put that in there. I am always composer and author. Of course, if you have a lyricist versus the music composer, that's what the difference is basically. And the nice thing here is that as you enter your songwriters, like these are my primary song co-writers here that I've got registered stuff with. I've got about 6 other songs that are just about to go into the bucket here. I'm just not quite ready to load them in, otherwise I'd do them right now. But so if we go, like if I co-wrote it with Lucy, I would be adding her name and I would be adding her publishing company. And if I did another one with, and if it was a 3-way write with North, I would have him in there. He doesn't have a publishing company, so he just does it all under his name. And he's done tons of songs with other people. So he's written tons of songs with other writers and other artists. Other artists have recorded his music, and he's just Northeast. So he manages it just like I do, but his wife's a lawyer. So, and Doug, you asked about, do you need a lawyer? I don't think so. I would suggest just reading up on it. They got some more links. There's a couple of, there's lots of information on it. You can set up a basic company and do it online, or have a Nova Scotia company kind of thing. You don't need to spend a lot of money. The trick is when you submit as a publisher, like Midnight Mama Music had to come to SOCAN as a publisher and pay $50 or whatever you have to pay. I can't remember what it is. Maybe that's down in the States. I haven't done it, so I don't know what the costs associated with being a publishing entity on SOCAN. Maybe it's nothing. I don't know. So you have to talk with your songwriters, find out whether they're affiliated, how they're affiliated. Most people are affiliated ASCAP. I've affiliated ASCAP because the BMI charges. So I haven't gone there. You know, I don't, I let the default go through and it's all fine. So what happens here is, like, in a three-way write, I get 33.4 because I'm registering it, and these guys get 33 1/3 split. So Lucy would get 16.6 and 16.7 or whatever, and North would get 33, right? So it's kind of, it's pretty obvious how that works. So,
Robert.
yeah.
That US affiliation thing that you're just talking about, ASCAP versus BMI.
Yeah.
Can you change those things based on new information? For example, if you had already registered to work and you had put it to BMI, could you just change it over?
Yes. Yeah, you can. Where are we?
Is there a problem there? The previous screen, yeah.
There we go. Work maintenance. I have to go in here.
So I'm glad you asked that question, Jim, because I think I mentioned to you before, Robert, like a broken record. I had kind of gotten to that point. I wasn't sure who do I choose. And then I had heard that there was, fee, like one pays better or is better to use. Maybe it was just the absence of fees. I don't know. But so I would expand on Jim's question and say, like, if you pick one at the beginning that you have assigned to your account or whatever, then when you're every time you're putting a new song in, can you change that if for some reason it has to be changed for one song or another, or even in the future, right, if you've picked one?
Yes, and SOCAN is pretty good about that. You can contact them for help on it, and they usually get back to you within the day.
Oh.
Yeah. I would just contact them, and then you can also go through this process where you submit and tell them what you're wondering about and submit, and they to remove the work, you have to, they do that for you. So you just do a submission and they will help you through it, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And okay, so what else is there? Yeah. So my catalog. So yeah, so you can go through it, and there's, like, you can see all the pages of whatever you've written and blah blah blah. So what else? Any questions on that? I guess probably that's pretty much it. The for performance, I don't know how many folks have do live. Well, most of you guys do live performance sometime or another. The big thing to use here is this notification of live music performance. Click.
So live music performance is there, Robert. Sometimes they accept my submissions and sometimes they don't for restaurants and bars. Right. It all depends on who's reviewing it. Do you find that?
Yep. Well, so here's the deal. If I've been both a venue and a performer, right? So theoretically, technically, anyone who presents live music would be a venue, and they would be registered with SOCAN, and they would pay a yearly fee for the right to present music. Like SOCAN even like if you're like if even music on hold, you should be paying $100 a year or whatever it is into the pot, into the royalties pot for having music on hold at your business, right?
Yeah.
So venues pay either a flat fees depending on what they're doing, or a percentage of gate after $1,000 of income or something. I can't remember the exact details, but if I, as a venue, have $1,000 coming in, I pay 3% or so plus tax on that as for performance royalties. If it's 2,000, then I pay, you know, $60 or whatever it is. It's a minimum of 30 something dollars. So when I was doing, and I may do it again when we go do our next tour. I will post my house concerts as my own presenter. So I will be the venue. Roca Music will be, or Robert Campbell will pay the 30 something dollars for the minimum fee. And then I will come in here and log my performance as Campbell and Green with a set list at this event, at this time, for this venue provider, Roca Music. So, and then 6 months, 90 months later, you know, after paying my $35, I get, or whatever it is, $30 plus tax, I can't remember. You get, you know, your 75 or $80, and all the co-writers get their percentage too. Right? Okay. So all my co-writers get their coffee money from me when we do all this, and I get, you know, an extra 20 or $30 or whatever, plus you know, so that's how. So if
so where does, when you do it as your own venue, where do you pay that at?
Through a different place.
Okay.
Through SOCAN, you register with SOCAN as a different, as a presenting agency.
Okay, so I could register like Shirley Jackson Music as a venue.
Yeah, as a presenter. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So as a performer, a lot of, like, if it's a SOCAN reporting place, like you even the Carlton doesn't do it anymore. They don't do it for you unless you're hired by them as their show.
Okay, so you do your own there too. Okay. All right.
Own show, if you do your own show at the Carlton, you gotta do your thing, right? Yeah.
So if I was to do that at, say, the Rhubarb restaurant,
yep,
and I paid my own SOCAN fee, then I should get my $75, $80.
Yep.
Okay, so is there a limitation on what you can classify as a venue?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's that's a good question. I can't remember how that works.
Does my backyard stage classify as a venue?
Well, that's a good question. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll just do a dummy here. So a popular music concert. So this is one of the stipulations here, Shirley.
Yeah, I know.
That,
so I've only been submitting places that have had a cover charge of $6 or more for a bar,
right?
And festivals and stuff.
So for a popular music concert, then this is, as like house concerts or backyard things, this is where you would need to show the contract or a poster or whatever. And then so what I've done is I usually submit posters of that we've created for our house concerts or whatever for online promo as the thing. And then, but so what happens is they will phone or tag if there's not a known venue, they will ask the person. Like I did this for a house concert that I thought they were registered. Like in Maple Ridge, a woman has a 110 seat living room with a big Steinway, you know, and she does classical concerts and all that stuff. Like she has huge artists in there on their way through, you know, and we did a house concert there. And so I thought, well, wow, well, Yosine phoned me up and says, SOCAN, did you file? You know, because they were pestering her, right, about me.
Yeah.
Hey, right. So you have to pay attention. Otherwise, either that or host it as your own show.
Okay, yes, I guess the
See?
thing is to clarify with the venue whether they pay in.
Absolutely.
Because
So,
that's happened to me a couple times. SOCAN has pestered the people that I submitted on, and they went, "Did you submit?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Well," and so they should pay, but some people don't.
Yeah. So that's a negotiation. That you,
Okay. Good to know.
with
Your voice broke up there, Robert.
So yeah. So the house concerts and stuff. Pardon?
Your
Did I
voice
lose
was
you?
breaking up there.
Oh, okay. So the so when we do house concerts and I'm presenting, or depending on the show, you have to figure out what it is, but I always go headline with no support. But I do any festivals or whatever, you fill in your options here, you know, and enter the other names of whoever was on the bill. I guess Lisa Richard was the last show we did that was, we were general act. And then you put in however many songs of that you performed, okay? So we'll take whatever, and I'll include a copy of either like even a screenshot of an email saying you're getting $100 for this show. That's good enough. That's they take that, or a copy of a screenshot of your poster or whatever, or ticket stub. Okay, and then we'll just use that. Or here, no, go to that. We'll go with that and get rid of that. Headline act, no support. Okay. And continue. Oh, what do I need? Correct. Okay. Oh, upload file. Okay, here. Let me choose file. Do I have? I don't even. This computer's so new. I don't even think I have any pictures in here. There. Okay. Okay. Continue. So then you put in all the date stuff, and here, I'll just take whatever. That won't work.
So as you're filling all this in, so is it my understanding then that you have to have a $6 minimum cover charge to even bother going through any of this? Like, isn't that true?
No, not necessarily. If
Bars, I think, are the only ones that have to
Yeah.
have at least a $6 cover charge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So all the festivals and stuff, you can see a lot of this stuff is fills in automatically. Okay. There. See if that goes through. What am I missing? Organizer phone.
Number 902.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just because it's
Could be.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, so what's nice is once you've done a few of these shows, you can go back and collect whatever set list closest matches your thing. So if I take this, it automatically populates your thing. So once you've done it a few
Cool.
times, it
Yeah.
gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
And so I can add or delete works from the set list or add work to the set list. Add list from works from my covers. I've got a few. Oh, look at that, a Shirley Jackson song in the cover. So so that's how, this is basically how it works. And then you hit continue, and it tells you that you're expected, it had expected 8 works. You need to, okay. So before, and then it asks you, do you want to continue? I've verified, and you go through it and you say, yeah, this is good. And then, so that's your live performance thing. And I don't know, it's really good to do it, I think, if you can, because not only do you get royalties, your writers, your co-writers get royalties, and it gives you a body of evidence as well. So.
Roberts, what does SOCAN say about you paying your own venue? Like, do they know that's what's going on?
They say, thank you for your cash.
Okay, so they really don't care.
No.
So if I was playing, say, the Trellis Cafe, and I said to Steve at the Trellis, so if I pay the SOCAN fees, you're cool with that? And then do my submission, pay into whatever.
Yeah.
They won't question that, right?
I
As
don't
long as
think
they're
so.
being paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you asking, does it look too rigged or something, kind of,
Yeah.
that you're setting up
Yeah.
the venue? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. More money to be made.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know that. So what happens is there's like a lot of songs get played, and a lot of money goes into big, huge buckets.
Yeah.
And if money comes in and it doesn't get claimed, it gets distributed to people by virtue of how much, like their percentage. So if there's 100 artists and 2 artists get 80% of the pie, when that unclaimed money comes in, they're going to get a similar amount. Like it's really weird. This whole game is odd. So I say go for as much money as you can.
Yeah, because I just didn't want to like pay into all these restaurant shows I do, and then I don't get paid for them, and it's cost me $30 out of each gig to pay into them.
Right. Yeah. So we need to. I'm going to check into that a little deeper, but because you're getting paid by them, right?
Yeah.
So you have proof of contract. So
yeah,
if you're willing to pay that $35 as a presenter kind of thing on their behalf, and that's what the Carlton does.
Yeah. Okay.
The Carlton will do it. They'll charge you $30 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can file your show.
Right.
This is a naive question. If you do a set, say, of 15 songs, and they're all your original songs, what are you expecting to get back from that, Robert? I mean, in terms of money.
$80.
It's
$75. I don't know.
Yeah, it's $75 or $80 per show.
Wow. Okay.
So it does add up when you're doing a lot of those smaller shows.
So then what constitutes a show? Like, you know, you were talking, Robert, about doing these live streams, and if you get so many viewers, and I know that gets into a different category because it's like streamed, but like, is it just like go into a coffee shop, do a show? If they don't have the SOCAN registration, you can just do like Shirley was talking about and become the venue host and pay your $30 and then you get your money back? That's
Don't, no, that's a good question because I've never, like, that's a smaller number. Yeah, that's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, how that works. Because that's, I mean, if you're not contracted to do something, and there's no money exchanged and if they're not paying the SOCAN venue fee, yeah, good question.
Yeah, because if we were doing like 4 shows a month under our venue name, they might start to question that, right? Or not? Would they just?
No, they didn't. Like, I haven't done it for a couple of years, but no, I put through a bunch.
Okay, all
as
right.
long as you're being paid to do the show and you've got your poster or whatever, you can show that you sort of have this contract or whatever to do the music.
And some and those and the contractor, whoever's doing the contract with you, or somebody pays that fee.
Somebody could be me, like Shirley was saying, like if they don't, we can do it.
Yeah, if you need to confirm that you're the presenter.
Right.
Yeah, you need
So-
to confirm. Yeah, you need to confirm that you're the presenter.
So would that be on the poster, Robert? Would that be enough proof to say that you're the presenter, presented
Yep.
by so-and-so?
Yep.
Just another naive question, and that is the sequence of events here. Does it always have to be before the concert ever takes place, or can you do it retroactively?
I've done it. I don't do them. I just keep track of stuff and then do them all at once.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
I think you have up to a year to post your.
Yeah. In fact, I think
That's
like
nice.
I could post March 2020 now. If I wanted. Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
I think
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
And I know that when they came rattling my cage as a presenter, wanting money, and one year I basically, because all the shows that we did were, most of the shows anyways, were ones that I could pay the fee for, or didn't have to pay the fee for. I file these, like all our shows at the airport that we did and festival stuff and lots of the venues we were playing. And then I just didn't bother with the house concerts and stuff or whatever. I just let the Roca Music venue go. And I just had to, they were rattling my cage for, we need to know all the shows you did and pay up kind of thing, but there were no shows against it. So I just said, close it, right? And I'll open up another venue maybe later this year when we go tour and just capture some, we're thinking probably doing 30 shows across Canada or whatever. So, 30 shows. And if we get $40 a show, well, that's another $1,000, $1,200, right? It's worth spending the $300, $400, $500, whatever it is, to get 1,000 or 15. So
yeah. So when you register your venue as a presenter, how much does that cost?
I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember. I think you just. I can't remember, Shirley. It's been a while. Maybe
it's a yearly fee, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's not, but it's not onerous. Or you just have to pay per show. Maybe it's just, you just have to register it and you just pay that fee, that $35, $30, or that minimum 30, right? Yeah. So some house concerts we would do, occasionally we would break the $1,000 income, but not often. And so yeah, the $1,000 minimum. Then after that, you start paying the 3% plus whatever. Yeah, $30 plus 3% or something. So if it could be, if the venue is claiming 2,000 income, then it's like $60 or something. I'm not exactly sure of the details on that, but yeah. Okay, I'll just look at the questions. Stream concert one, but also charge for it. Use that. Yeah. So Doug's talking. Yeah, these on the online content, the online stuff. You have 60 days. You have certain thresholds to reach, and you get, I think it's $150. But to do this, I'll have to look into it. But the idea of having a few people on a online concert, it has to get a certain number of views within a certain time frame, or a certain number of like over 100 concurrent active during the show, or however many thousand views after. And it's actually that, since they've added the time frame after the actual live show, it's kind of easy to get the views up on post. We did get one. I did submit one of those shows that we did before. We didn't meet the threshold for the actual concurrent 100 users during the live show, and then they changed this thing. If we had submitted that show after they changed the requirements, the second set of requirements that they came out with a few months ago, it would have been easy to get, because it was whatever it was, a couple thousand views, and it was already at 4,000 or something, right? So I'll look in. I need to look into it and just start doing it, but that's what would happen. Yeah.
I think.
So these.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So these would be on YouTube, Robert, that you had these shows on, or what platform did you have on?
Facebook. Yeah.
Just Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All these streams. All these streams.
Yeah, all these different places. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the basics of live. I mean, there are little details and stuff, but and we'll dig in. We'll just keep finding the answer as we need to. As for the royalties, this last statement was great. It was 3 cents. There's $480, whatever, and they come out every 3 months, and they've had the reason the last one was 3 cents is because they recently integrated with a bunch of other databases, and everything went for shit. And I presume that actually my statements are going to rationalize and be higher because they've integrated better with Europe and the US and stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it's every 3 months you get a statement, and all those live performance things, like they can take, you may not see the money for 6 months, right? Or 9 months. I mean, and some of this stuff a year, right? Just because of the timing of when you submit and how it goes through. So,
and if you luck out and get a TV performance that they replay once in a while, then you make big bucks.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
Those are rare.
So the other thing is, for those who are recording albums, you can, as a performer on the album, as an artist or a musician recording track, there's the mechanical rights, and that's I'm signed up with musiciansrights.ca. You guys can go there if you want, and enter your albums. And this is for mechanical. So this is a neighboring right to the song. Basically, there's I register the title of the song, the artist, the owner, year it's done, where it was done, who the featured performers are, and all the artists playing on it. So these guys are registered with this company as well, or and they will get small amounts of money just by being on the album or on that track when it gets played. So
That's something to let your musicians know they should be registered on there also, so they get paid.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, you know, you can use a, well, I've got to actually add an album. This one's a little different. This one's all us, pretty much. So it's, we get, where's the home payments? I just updated my banking equipment gear. So, you know, I haven't received anything from them since 2019. So I missed last year because my banking details weren't up to date. So it bounced. Basically, I talked to them yesterday, or a couple of days ago. And so, you know, it's a small amount. Every once in a while, every 3 months or something they do it, or 6 months, whatever it is. And but you know what? Every bit counts. And the nice thing is that the other players get money as well. So Kaylin would log in and see that she got a little bit of money as well.
So other albums that we have played on of other people, if they don't submit them to MROC, can we submit them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I played on like Teresa Malonfont's CD,
Right.
and if she hasn't submitted it, I can put the tracks in that I played on.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. For instance, here that part of that check came from my work on John John's album.
Okay. Did he submit that or did you?
I did.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So there's money to be made. It's dribs and drabs, but it's out there. Yeah, it's out there. What else is there? I don't know. Oh yeah. So the way that royalties come in through radio is through the ISRC codes. What is ISRC? International Standard Recording, whatever. It's you get your registrant code from Connect. I get it from Connect Music Licensing, and you get your. You just fill out this application here, and get your registrant number. Our registrant number, and I track everything here. Our registrant number is the first 3 digits. First these digits. What is that? 7 digits? Right there. That's our number. And the first album that I did was first song. That's it there. And then the next album I just keep track of it myself and register each song and embed this as the meta tag in the meta tags and everywhere that I can for each song and for video. I just do it anyway, just for my own tracking. And I when I drop YouTube videos up, I'll put that ISRC code in the comments or in the description and stuff, right?
How do you embed your IR, your codes into like when you're,
MP3s?
yeah,
MP3s and waves?
Yeah.
I use, you can do it through, apparently you can do it through iTunes, but I do it through Audacity. So, you know what, I don't actually, I don't have Audacity.
okay. And then it's already embedded then when you send it to radio.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's on the free version of Audacity, is it, Robert?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I've never noticed that.
Okay, so here's sort of this. So I'm trying to understand where in the process this happens. So like if you go and record your song, is
Yep.
it actual, like when you're actually recording it?
No, it's done on the wave file.
Okay.
It's done on your audio files.
Before you put
And
it on a publishing platform like Spotify or something.
it's if you're using like CD Baby, there's a slot there for ISRC.
Okay.
And I can't remember. I've always done my own. I know that maybe it's possible that they charge you to do that for you. I'm not sure.
So Robert, if I just recorded something, okay,
Yep.
just by myself,
Yep.
and regardless of the quality, and I load that into Audacity,
Yeah.
and then I can, if I've acquired a code from ISRC,
Yeah, you just grab it here.
I can write it in there,
Yeah.
and it'll, when I download that or export that file, it will come out with that code in the audio.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
that's neat. I never knew that was there.
Yeah, I didn't know how to navigate that either, so this is great.
Okay.
Let me see it. I'll just find a Finder window. Let's see if I have a do I have a bounce?
Excuse me.
So if I take a wave file and I get info,
Wave file.
this is all kind of like meta tag type stuff, right? Comments, but as soon as I get, oh, there it is. Let me open up Audacity.
Oh, that's right there. Okay.
Sorry about this. I should have had this going.
So to load up your codes in YouTube, then you just, how do you do that on your videos? You put videos through Audacity too?
Yeah, well, not through Audacity. The trick with you see if hang on, they have
Videos on the radio, but maybe it's radio and TV.
hang on, I'm getting there.
Hi, Robert.
Yes.
Lots of times what you can do with a video editor, like I use Kdenlive, Kdenlive, and I use it on Ubuntu. You can also use it on Windows 10, supposedly, but you can import a WAV file or MP3 file or whatever type of audio file you want to into that editor. And I guess from what you're saying is when you upload that WAV or MP3 file into Kdenlive or the video editor that you have, it should be within the body of that video then. would seem logical.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's
Let me show package contents. Okay, here, maybe I can do it this way. Oh. I'm just because I don't have any this brand new system. I don't have. Okay, so open with Audacity. There we go. Okay, so we got a WAV file, any old file, but a WAV is, of course, the one that you'd be sending to radio stations. And then view. Where is edit? Okay. Oh, right. It's done when you export. You can export as WAV. And let's see if it will. This is a little different than I'm used to. I've done a lot of it on.
I thought I saw something in edit when you were on the edit tab there a second ago, metadata.
Oh, there it is. Yes, thank you. Okay, so here you put in whatever the details are, and then I could put in ISRC and I paste the number in there, so that it's always it's loaded in, and then when you save it, okay, you can save the template. So if you're doing like an album, you'd put in your album, your artist name, album title, and year, and genre, etc. And you can save that or set as default for this session, and you can load up. Then it'll automatically populate that information in, so it makes it a little easier. And I always start at the first one, and I actually put the ISRC code in for the first one in the series, and then the numbers on my spreadsheet here, I just increment them through the album, right? So that's the basics of it. But so what happens is this ISRC code, the radio station software loads up the MP3 or the WAV file, and it will be able to find the ISRC code, right? And that's how you get. It helps you to get your royalties funneled through the system. That's the bottom line of this, right?
Robert,
yes.
If you hadn't foreseen or had the foresight to put that ISRC code into a WAV file that you had previously recorded, and would that be an impediment to a radio station not to play your stuff? Would it be just one hurdle that they wouldn't want to deal with because they want things automated so that they don't even have to think about the royalty situation?
Yeah, it could be. Absolutely. I've had radio stations like a lot of the, when I've done interviews and stuff, as we've gone around, they say is all the metadata there, and do you have your ISRC in it? Yeah, okay, great, fine. I send them the WAV file. So yes, and long and short of it is, you're really better off to embed the ISRCs in your files.
Yeah, you want to make it as easy for them as possible, right? I guess.
Yeah. And there's other tools for it too. And I mean, and on MP3s, where's that? No. You can add images. You can. There's other applications, and I'll have to go back. It's been a couple of years since I did. Like I say, I didn't do our Christmas album last year, so I'm not. My brain forgets shit just pretty fast. But you can, with MP3s, you can also embed like the album photo, so that on people's players and stuff, it pops up. So it's in the metadata.
Did you say there was no cost associated with the ISRC code or acquiring one?
Correct.
Okay,
No
great.
cost.
So, and I feel like I have all the dumb questions of the day here, but so there's only one ISRC code, right?
Per song.
Oh, per song. Okay, but then how come on your spreadsheet it's always the same? Like,
Well, that's because I'm the ISRC registrant.
okay,
That's our CA is for Canada,
right.
English, I guess. 0713
Yeah,
is the registrant number.
Oh, there's
That-
because it's all the same album, but then it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It changes. That's what changed at the end.
And that's my numbering system. It's strictly anything that comes through that 7-digit or whatever, however many digits they use out of this code. Probably that many right there, I think. Anything that goes through that bucket is tagged to that register, right? And these numbers, the trailing numbers, to define a separate track.
So those first seven numbers are uniquely yours, Robert? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And the only thing that changes, and it's defined by myself, they give you the number with the trailing 0, 0, 0, and 1. I think that's what I got. And then I just keep going on from there. And the reason I changed it for by year, I think, or yeah, can't remember. Just for album, I just changed it. And this is the Christmas album. And onward. So it's more for your own tracking.
Robert.
Yeah.
Before we go into something else, first, thank you. This is really helpful. You would, yeah, it's really helpful.
It's confusing as hell, and this is just like the top layer, you know, of
Yeah.
yeah.
I just
But-
like your language. There's been a few things where I'm like, totally. I've been missing that bit of information. Anyway, question. So, most all of my tracks in the world that have ISRCs, those were done by someone else. So either the studio or the mastering. So in these times where we're archiving and looking through stuff, I have gems. Let's say hypothetically, I want to code them. Can I just assign whatever if it's unreleased?
Absolutely, yeah. I would just register your thing and go. Absolutely.
Yeah, because obviously I have the code, so you can just anything goes for that. And then what if I had some tracks and I don't? What are some strategies to find the ISRC code? Like, say, if I lost them, maybe.
If you lost a track or if you lost the code, what do you mean?
Let's say I have an EP, for example, from 2013. I have no idea what the ISRC codes are. No idea. How do you retrieve them? Like, how do you find them?
Well, you should be able to just, I think if you open up that track in let me see. That's a good question. I think it should show up. Let me just go to Drive here.
Cool.
Let me grab a
Would
file.
Audacity let you peek in and see it? There's a function on in Connect Music or whatever, like where you get your ISRC codes. there's a function to retrieve lost ISRC. Maybe I'll check that out. See if that does something.
So Robert, if I have MP3s out there that were not embedded with IR codes, can I put them in now?
Well, you can put them in for anything going forward.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
Let's see what this says. Edit. There it is. It's embedded in there.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So those are the files that I send to radio stations.
Yep.
So you could take any CD, upload the track to Audacity, and open it under metadata, and it should show you whether or not there's a code there.
Bingo.
Oh my
Bingo.
God. You
So when
are
you
so-
embed,
so helpful today.
when you compile a CD, it's all WAV files going in, and they have to have
Yeah.
that metadata embedded in each WAV file as it goes into the CD image.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So here's another silly question. If you happen to record in MP3 as opposed to WAV, is there a place for the ISRC code within MP3 format? Or is it just WAV?
Just let me I'm just opening up this I'm just opening up the other file. There it is.
Because
Okay,
most,
this is an MP3. Edit metadata.
there it is.
Okay, so yeah, this is crucial. This shit is like for tracking if you get in radio play or even online and stuff, and all those online, none of those online radio stations, basically most of them anyways. There's reporting stations. Like if you're listening to 101 FX country hit radio shit, their software tracks every song and does whatever it does. And then there's like community stations and certain stations that are only tracked for like a couple of weeks, or if spring and fall rating seasons and all this. Like, so it's really weird. CBC, it's all songs are tracked. They all have, anything gets played on CBC, your royalties are, $27 a play if it's national, and we've had some of those, right? And it's like,
I've heard my stuff played on CBC and I've never got paid for. And when I called SOCAN about it, and they told me that CBC only tracks certain periods too.
yeah, okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, because
But if you don't have this in there, number one, like, so if we look at the yeah, here, where do I add the anyways, if that's not in there, it makes it even harder to get your money, is what I'm saying. Yeah,
mine are all got the data
Tag.
in there, but I know I've heard it played lots and not got paid for them.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
But not all of them.
some of them, but not all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that like the local stations played, like they have different rates. So if it's the local show just playing on in Nova Scotia, it's one thing. If it's regional, like the weekend mornings, it's different.
Mhm.
And then if it's played across shows or played in other cities and stuff. So it's, yeah. And I mean, there's some station up in Rimouski, New Brunswick, that plays one of our songs, like some of our stuff, and I have no idea how they even got it. I mean, and all of a sudden I look at the reporting and there's a $2.38 royalty for this song that was played in some station in Rimouski, which is, so it's a French station and it's in English. Anyways, it's
What about
it's
little
all a mystery. What's that?
little community radio stations like
CIOE and Seaside and all that. Yeah, well, you basically get next to nothing out of them, right?
Yeah.
But it's still good to do it. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
What about podcasts?
Good question. I guess I don't know. And you know what? That's a great thing to look into.
Because this podcast out in Musquodoboit wanted to use one of my songs for their opening to each podcast.
I remember that podcast. I
Yes.
remember those people. They took one of our songs too for
Yeah,
something.
Yeah. And so I wonder about that. I just
So
hope
who was,
she could use it. If she ever gets rich, then she owes me.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. But technically there are royalty captures for that, right? I mean, like, so that what happens is, they go to Stitcher, the podcast platform, and there must be like, and nowadays it's all Shazammed or whatever, and they say, oh, this song's this song, and it should be there, I don't know how it's done. So that would be another level of sophistication to look at. Yeah.
Okay.
so who is it out in Musquodoboit, or Musquodoboit Harbor, or Middle Musquodoboit, or?
I couldn't tell you, Jim. It was a couple of years ago, and I just said, yeah, sure, here it's, I said, so if people ask me for music, I just send it. I don't care, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the link, go ahead, fill your boots, right? Yeah, so I mean, even on Bandcamp, I've set our music to be free by donation. I don't care anymore. It's whatever.
It's
Yeah.
like spewing it out.
Well, I mean, it's I don't have much patience anymore. How about that? Yeah.
I'm getting there too.
Yeah. So that's kind of it for what I can think of at the nuts and bolts to get getting the ISRC code, getting it embedded into the tracks, and registering your songs with SOCAN.
Do you register your songs with CMRRA?
Yeah, I do that through, in fact, I have to do that.
And do any of these places require you to submit your physical CD or physical?
No, it's all digital.
So do they want you, like, say, well, were we earlier here? Say on Connect or MROC, do they want you to submit digital files?
It's been a while. I can't remember. Submission.
Because I've only filled out the repertoire sheet.
Add a song.
Oh.
There's an
Location
upload.
recording. Name each person additional files. Self confirm performance on your RFC Center supporting documentation on other liner notes. You may upload documents, JPEG or PDFs.
But you don't upload the actual song.
No, no.
Yeah, okay.
No. And it's kind of all magic to me.
It's magic
It's-
when it gets done.
It's all digital electronic computer magic back on, you know, under the covers partly, but yeah. I'm going to use their submission form. I'll do the whole album at once and then upload a submission by repertoire. There's the,
What about Nielsen SoundScan? Do you use that?
you know what, I have, and I haven't gone into it in a couple of years. Maybe
Okay.
I'll do that. Actually, I'll do that and then I'll try to record what I'm doing.
What is the difference between Nielsen SoundScan and Nielsen BDS?
Good question.
Okay, I've been trying to investigate these and I haven't got too far.
Is Nielsen the ones who kind of are, I thought they're the ones who are always sort of listening sort of automatically online to hear the songs and connected to the ISRC code.
Yeah. Yeah, and technically I think that's what you do. I don't know if there's any benefit. I don't know if it's been a few years since I dug into Nielsen and dealt with that BDS stuff to understand it. But that's what they do. They're logging radio stuff and analyzing radio stations, and they're, you know, when you hear about the ratings period, you know, the 2 weeks ratings period, they track, they have listeners. Like I've done the Nielsen poll, like tracking my radio listening day to day and say which radio stations I listen to, what platform, whether on my phone or on a radio or in the car, how long I listen to which stations in 15-minute segments. So I've submitted my listening habits to Nielsen. And so during a ratings period, they will track my listening habits for 2 weeks. And that's how they get radio station ratings. And that's how, you know, radio stations say, we're the most listened to country station in Tuscaloosa, Ohio, or wherever. And that's how they get it, is out of the Nielsen ratings, right? By having people like me be kind enough to waste my day filling in their forms for my listening habits. It's fascinating. Odd, but that's how they do it.
From our perspective, if the ISRC code is already in our songs, the Nielsen should pick it up. We should have to.
Yeah, they have to report their playlists, and you know, it's all computerized now, and I know, like, even community radio, like even Seaside has their software that tracks everything they play, and they submit whatever they're supposed to submit whenever they're supposed to submit it, however they do it, and they pay their fees and do whatever they do. Yeah, and it's all tagged to titles and ISRC codes and stuff, right? In fact, I should show that there is unidentified performances and unidentified, like, concerts with no set lists. Let me see it. And so if performer starts with this is the search I do. This is on SOCAN, and I just set wide open. So if it starts with Campbell, and then I go down, like this Campbell Woods guy has always had tons of stuff in there, right? So Campbell, like, he hasn't claimed these shows that he could be getting money for, right? And these are shows in 2019, right? I go through
So
their,
how,
yeah.
so how did they acquire all these shows? Who
Well,
would have reported those? The venue?
the venue,
Wow.
any home roots shows have to file, because home roots does that for them. Home roots is the promoter. So what I was talking about before, about me presenting, I'm the promoter. When
Yeah.
Broken Music does it, or when Shirley wants to do her things, she would be Shirley Jackson Music here, right?
Yeah.
And so these people submit their shows, right? They
So
come.
you have to have a registered business name, like registered with the Registry of Stocks. Is that the idea?
Well, that's probably the best idea. Yeah.
Are
I
there
don't know what
protections in that?
I don't know what SOCAN's requirements are. I can't remember. I will.
Okay.
Well, I will look. I can't remember. It was a few years ago. So, like I say, I was thinking of doing it, but again, but maybe I won't.
Mhm.
It depends. Depends. Yeah. Where was the other thing that they had?
Sorry, I think I just sort of, my mind blipped out there. So were you saying that you, with your, when you were registering as a venue, Robert, that you did or didn't have that as a business, like when you were the venue provider? You have to,
I can't remember.
okay, so it's not necessary, especially, I mean, I think, isn't it like a 30,000, not like you have to, you know, before it becomes an issue to become a business, it has to be like 30,000 revenue anyway.
Sorry, you're fading away. Your voice is off mic or something.
Oh, I turned my mic off just because it wasn't working.
Okay.
But all I was saying is, so maybe it's not important that you sign up as a business in order to be a venue, because I think it's only a matter of like once you're revenue 30,000 or something.
Right. Yeah. No, that's quite possible. I don't know what their requirements will be, but yeah. So there's all sorts of, like on SOCAN here, you'll see that there's all sorts of unclaimed catalog works. So these are like there's hundreds of them. There's works that have come into their system, but they don't know where to assign it. I mean, it's amazing to me that they have this much stuff. So there's here, look at this name. Keith Urban, Shania Twain. Like there's stuff, there's money, woman in me. There's these earnings that are out here that haven't been claimed. And I've gone through it and found money for myself that was because the databases weren't hooked up properly. I mean, it's honest to God, it's a freaking morass. It's, yeah, it's a twisted,
Can you check
twisted
mine?
thing.
Check my name, see if there's any money in there for me.
Yeah, okay, sure. Unidentified concerts, no performance, no set list here. Surely. Like that. There we go. Shirley Jackson. Wharf
Oh
Rat
my
Rally,
God, look at that.
2017.
Look at that. There's Shirley Jackson and the Sidecats. That's me.
So
Corporate Rally. Holy crap, there's money in there for me. The Shirley Jackson duo, that's me. Thanks,
It's
Robert.
it's like Christmas, Shirley.
I know. Lordy Lefton.
contained.
Can you do me? Can you do me?
Vasti Jackson, Shirley Jackson,
Wow,
Jackson,
look at
Shirley
that.
Jackson, Wharf Rat Rally.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm just kidding.
There's 5 pages with the name Jackson in it. So Tom Jackson. So there's Tom, got
I just hit the
2019.
mother load.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? It'll take a while for the stuff to come through, but
Oh, Amanda
It's-
Jackson, she's slacking off there too.
yeah, well, you know what? I've like when I search for Campbell, a few times I've like John Campbell John and Campbell Woods and a few other artists that have the name, and you know, I message and say, hey dude, you know, you're missing out on some cash, and they go in, oh Jesus, thanks man, I got you know, $150. Okay, great. You know?
Andrew Jackson, he's out there too. Cool. Thanks,
So,
Robert.
yeah, and it's there's money out there. It's just buried in these systems that are freaking stupid to figure out. So
what's the menu tab that's under, Robert, within SOCAN?
SOCAN's perform unidentified.
Okay, great. You know, I had a really silly thing the other day. I went into the registration form for registered works, and I found some people in, like, I haven't a clue who the hell they are, but I've got 50% of someone's song. It's just ridiculous. And
that's what you do. And if it's yours, claim it.
It's not mine. It's nothing to do with me, but it's in my registration somehow. And I didn't register it.
Well, did you go right with something?
I don't know what to say to that. You'd have to talk to them if you're worried about it. Are you getting royalties out of them?
Not a penny, man.
Well, there you go. So whatever.
Then I'd really feel bad.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, yeah. I'll search into some of this other stuff and maybe try to update you guys as we go. But
this has been really fun.
Well, it's great. I mean, I had no idea.
It's been really helpful, Robert.
Yeah, great. Well, there's two things that in my life I've realized that I like to do. I'd like to play music and get good and get feedback of whatever type, but it's rewarding, and playing live music and not getting the feedback is really difficult. And not playing live is tough on my psychology. And the other thing, I've always liked helping people, right? Or whatever. I realized that's why I was in IT stuff and why I enjoyed helping people with their systems and whatever. That the reward of the happiness that people get when they get relief out of learning something or getting something fixed is quite rewarding. And yeah.
How lucky are we that you like to help people, because you sure have. This has been great.
I'm glad it worked. There, now your faces are back. Good to see you.
That was very, very informative, Robert.
And I don't know who Dale is, but hi, Dale.
Hi, Dale.
It's Dale Schimpf. How you doing?
Hi, Dale.
Oh, good, man. Good.
Sorry,
Good.
I've just been lurking because I'm sort of painting the bathroom as I'm listening.
Oh, good. Come on over here when you're done. Like, bring your brush.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm the cutting expert, apparently.
Ooh.
I sent
Cutting edge.
I sent a couple of questions out there. I'm on Distrokid right now. I'm probably going to cancel it. The trouble I have with them is I can see how much money I've made, and I've made a lot of money, but trying to get it is a pain in the arse. I'm going to have to contact them and get my $5 US. But what else would you use to get your material out there if you're not using Distrokids or CD Baby?
The technical term they call them aggregators, because you go to one source and they aggregate all the streaming options like CD Baby or Distrokids. I don't know. There's a couple of others, and I just can't remember the names. But I haven't been looking at them because I just kind of defaulted to CD Baby. But what the hell?
I mean,
yeah, good question.
Destro does put them across the board, and I've gone onto the sites and I'm there, whether it's iTunes or Spotify or Amazon. My music is there. but that's about it. I'm also on SoundClick. That's where I post all my songs, and they have it. You can put it as free, or you can put it as 75 cents if you want to sell it. So I guess that's a kind of platform too. But I got to do everything that you've laid out here for me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
here's another one, Song Trader.
Song Trader?
Trader without an E in Trader. Is Ditto Music.
Ditto?
Ditto, yeah, music. Bandcamp, does Bandcamp have aggregation? Do they deliver?
I don't know.
No, Bandcamp's like its own ecosystem.
It's what? I'm sorry, Luna.
It's like its own ecosystem.
Oh.
Like it's site and it's just
Yeah,
all-
okay.
It doesn't aggregate. It's its own little neighborhood.
Yeah, so Ditto Music, TuneCore.
TuneCore, I've heard of
Where's
them.
the other, like, I've heard, these are all ones that
Yeah, I've heard of TuneCore.
CD Baby.
Yeah, well, we had we talked about CD
yeah.
Baby.
TuneCore, I've heard TuneCore is okay.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Oh, and Lander, Landr.
Yes, I've heard of them too. Okay, I'll check them out.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know. I don't know who's the best. You know,
Thanks.
yeah, Bandcamp doesn't do digital distribution, but which is, of course, huge.
But we've been talking about Bandcamp as a means to an end, haven't we?
Well, I don't know what that means. What you mean?
Well, you can get your songs up and then you try and create a fan base.
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah. So it's just one single platform. Go to Bandcamp and listen to what's out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leona,
Yeah,
it's probably answer better than for any of you guys who are on Bandcamp, but isn't the difference there that you get a better share than iTunes and a lot of the other ones, right? Like you get a much bigger share.
yeah. It's for sure the place I would send people if somebody says, "Hey, where can I buy your music?"
Yeah.
That's where I send them.
So what's the deal with YouTube?
You post your stuff there.
On your own channel,
Yeah.
preferably?
If you're, yes, absolutely. So actually, the one thing that happens is, let's see what happens here. I haven't opened up YouTube for a while. So if I go to YouTube and I go to your channel, and I have all these songs. So what happens is if we were talking about CD Baby Pro, and they will collect your royalties for you, but they will charge you for that pleasure. So if we were looking over in SOCAN, you would see my royalties, my statements, go to here. And you would see that certain, where is it? View statement details. You would see that Facebook plays gave me, whatever, 56 cents. You would see the same thing somewhere for YouTube. I can't remember. You got to go through it. It's convoluted as hell. But you would see that there's CD Baby tags on it, right? We'll do it for you. Or if you don't have that, ultimately the Shazam sort of settings on YouTube go through and says and tags it that's, therein lies the trick. I would suggest that, where is it? Your videos. Where, come on, it's slow as hell. When you go into edit, in here, I've embedded the ISRC code along with a bunch of other shit, you know. So there's no doubt where that is. So for each audio, for each video that I upload to YouTube with our audio, I tag it with an ISRC code out of my thing. Video, ready, man, perfect, good, whatever that was. The other thing that happens is CD Baby and other aggregators, they you've seen automatically generated playlists. Did we lose you?
No, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you haven't, no, you haven't
okay.
lost me. No.
Okay, sorry, it was so quiet out there. You'll see that YouTube does automatically generated playlists as
Yeah,
well.
I've just got your Campbell and Green black screen there. I'm not seeing your computer at all.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm an idiot. Hang on, you guys. I'm a freaking idiot. I thought I was sharing the screen still.
We're all learning from you.
Oh God, I don't know if anybody should learn from me.
There we go.
Okay, so here it was.
Okay.
Let me back up a bit.
We were
so
imagining what was going on.
brilliant. Okay, was I picking my nose? I don't know. I went into my channel content, and
Okay.
I'll just grab a video, and this is what I do. I don't know if it makes any sense, and I actually usually put in the lyrics. I don't know why the lyrics aren't in there, but I'll put in the lyrics. Usually right about there.
Mm-hmm.
And I embed the ISRC code and all my links, blah, 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 blah. I don't know why Google, I have a default in the channel settings. You can have it so that it automatically does whatever it does.
So Robert, on YouTube, when you're putting the ISRC code right in there in the description, is that the only place it needs to go?
Well, no, I wouldn't say, I don't know if it even makes a difference, but I just do it out of default.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't have, do I have any videos here on this computer? I don't think so. I'm not positive whether you can embed the ISRC. I thought I did. It's been a while. I did these last year.
Okay.
So, good question. I'll write that down to look at.
So I'm looking on your on your page there, and I notice it's the YouTube symbol with studio beside it. Now that's distinct from YouTube generally, or is this just the user page for people who happen to have a channel?
Yeah, you have to have a channel.
In order to go to studio?
Yeah, well, good question. Do you have an account on YouTube?
No, I don't.
Have you posted videos? Oh, yeah.
No, I never have.
You have to have a Gmail account, basically.
Yeah, I do.
Tag to your Gmail account, I think. Maybe you don't have to. Maybe you don't have to. I do. I've drunk the Kool-Aid, and I use Google Docs, Google Calendar, and Chrome, and
Drive.
And Google Drive, and it integrates really well.
Okay.
And that's why I do it. And I don't care about all the stuff that people talk about, you know, Big Brother watching you and stuff, whatever. But yeah, so then you, with your channel, you can identify whatever stuff you want there, and user comes, I think, from your Google account, and you can customize it and, you know, have an about section, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you have all your videos there. And then you get to, you can select
Whoa.
forward screens and different whatever. Yeah.
So I just have a quick question. You started to say something earlier about YouTube making automatic playlists, and I felt like you were lunging into something that might relate to meta tagging again, where
Well, yeah.
tag-
Yeah, and I don't know whether I think the aggregators like CD Baby do it, but maybe not. I can't remember. We'd have to look it up. Well, let's just do that.
When you are on CD Baby and they represent you in digital, they also put your CDs up on YouTube,
oh,
because they did mine, and it kind of conflicted with what I was putting up on YouTube. Because I originally was uploading some of my CDs, and then they also uploaded them. So they're collecting on my behalf also.
Right. So yeah, so just so YouTube does all sorts. Yeah, I think the reason, like, you'll see just a photo of the album, like the video. All the video is the album art and the song playing, and so, and that's generated either automatically somehow. I can't, I don't exactly understand. I know this, but like you say, CD Baby does that. Absolutely. They'll post it, they'll spit it up there somehow.
Yeah.
so if you have a channel and you album and say you get it distributed through CD Baby, then you wouldn't have to upload your albums. They would do it for you to your channel, or is that what
No,
you're saying? That they have
no. What happens is there's these automatically generated YouTube videos that CD Baby spits out, that all they do is they have a computer grab the image,
Mm-hmm.
grab the audio, grab the album art image, grab the audio file, and stuff it into a video and slams it up there.
Yeah.
Just it's just a generic dump of that song,
Right.
right? And that's how those end up there. I was really surprised because I did a search one time and something came up and I thought, what the hell's that, right? Where did that come from? I didn't post it. And it was CD Baby.
Yeah, that's how I found out too. It's like, what? Who's putting this up here?
I wonder
No,
if you can opt out of that in CD Baby.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Opt out of, say, your YouTube distribution if you want to, say, control your YouTube channel more granularly or something like that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Good question. I haven't been in CD Baby for a long time. I mean,
So I'm the one who's wet behind the ears here. I haven't done any of this stuff where you guys are all at. But why would you guys not be wanting more of your music up on YouTube? Like, why is it a bad thing that CD Baby is posting your album if you are also doing it on your channel?
good
Maybe
question.
Well, it sounds like a control thing to me in terms of the content that you're actually allowing to go up onto your channel.
Well, and we, as having a channel, we want to collect our own subscribers and likes to get up over our 1,000 subscribers so we can actually monetize off our site. when CD Baby puts it up there, and if people are clicking on that to hear our songs, then we're not getting the same input. Is that right, Robert? Or does
Correct.
collect all
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
metadata?
Yeah.
If somebody's listening to their version of our song up there, they're getting
The money.
plays, not us, right?
So then what
Even
day,
though it's on our channel. I don't know. How's that work, Robert?
that kind
What's
of makes
that?
If somebody's listening to our song, the CD Baby
Or
version
Sure.
that's up there as opposed to ours, are they getting the YouTube plays as opposed to us, or is that count as our YouTube plays?
Yeah. Well, that's probably why that's one of the reasons why they're doing it, is because they're collecting half of your royalties or half of your publishing on those YouTube posts. Yeah.
But do we get credited for the video plays?
No, your channel won't.
Yeah, our channel wouldn't. Right. Okay.
Yeah, your channel won't.
and control it so that they're into your channel so that you're getting the views. And then to Dale's comment, is there a way to set that up on YouTube to make it that, or somehow through CD Baby and YouTube to make it that they can't just create your
I guess that's something to check into.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is CD Baby, right? Okay, royalty. Okay, so great. Failed to load album data. There you go. There we go. Okay. View edit.
The one thing I like about CD Baby is going on their sales and their reports, and you can see who's your music on Spotify and what countries.
Yeah. Yeah. So
iTunes and Apple Music.
what was the last thing you said, Shirley, about Apple Music?
On the sales and reports, or Robert will probably go on there after and show you.
yeah, I could. I haven't been in here in a long time. I kind of don't even pay attention to it anymore. I've become so dismayed about making money.
There you can actually opt out, uncheck that, collect YouTube money.
Yeah.
Aha, there you go. See, this is fairly new on their site within the last few months.
Yeah, within the last last year or two, I guess, for sure.
Yeah.
It probably means they won't upload to YouTube, I guess, too, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah, well, they probably, I think this might be the thing that triggers those automatic plays. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
opt in for all monetization, or can you just click, do you have to unclick, can you unclick one of them?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is, so they're collecting. Yeah, I'd probably come back and take this off. This is a little EP that we did, so we can turn it off by per unit, I guess. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and they do have sales and reports, and I'm sure that our
If you go to
sales-
trending analytics.
yeah, I'm sure that it's pretty much zero here. Good.
Yeah. So here's where it shows you where they're playing your stuff. You got 196 streams in the last 7 days on Spotify.
Yeah, that's 196 more than I thought we did.
I always go on there once in a while because it'll show you what country too, if you go down a bit. Yeah, location.
You're popular in Mongolia.
Yeah.
Your next
Yeah.
tour,
Yeah,
your next tour,
to that
And this,
180
and this is no surprise because
Germany.
we're popular. That's no surprise to me at all.
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
They did a
Well,
tour there.
We get played in Germany. When we play in Germany, it's there's a lot of love there. Yeah.
No,
We
but
have-
that it shows all the people that have streamed your music. Does that account for royalties, or that's just people listening to it?
That's small royalties. Those penny those 0.0000000002 cents that you get.
Okay.
Yeah, the thousands of a penny.
So personal computers and cell phones.
Yeah, it tells you age groups, top playlists. Yeah, so it's kind of cool to go on there once in a while to see what's
And
happening.
this is no surprise either. That's our demographic is that age range.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.